Hello, everybody. You're listening to The Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 44. Look at those lazy buckeyes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Big Chill Podcast. For all our new listeners, please be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. It'd be very much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, so be sure to follow us there. We're now posting some really nice stuff, some funny quotes I think you guys will enjoy. So let's say hello to the boys. Eddie, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want me to discuss point 1 or point 2 I have for how I want to rip into you? Because there's 2 of them.
Point 1, please.
Okay, point 1. So I've heard from some of our more dedicated listeners that they are calling complete bullshit that you could sit in the ring for more than 15 seconds with Floyd Mayweather, and that by the time you swung your arm to hit him once, he'd have hit you 5 times in the face and in the chin, and you'd be done.
I mean... Well,
they do not respect the fact that you think you can sit in a ring with a person who spent his entire career on being one of the greatest pound-for-pound boxers in the history of boxing.
well, my counter to that would be police reports would say there's some women that have hung in a ring with Floyd Mayweather for at least 15 seconds. So I'm going to give myself a better chance than some listeners might. As I say again, I'm not claiming that I'm going to win. I just wouldn't be terrified by the prospect. And I think, look, we're talking about Floyd Mayweather now, not Floyd Mayweather in his prime. And it's also just knowing what his knockout power is. So it wouldn't be pretty. And I know I would get hit a lot, but I think I could withstand it for a decent period of time.
What would the previous experiences that you have in the bars of Paris tell us?
Well, I mean, I've been in fights in my time. I've never been knocked out.
So these are French people.
Undefeated street brawler.
I'm not sure I'd give myself the undefeated tag.
No, he's definitely not undefeated. I can vouch for that.
I might have lost by decision in a few of them, but there was definitely no knockouts or TKOs in any of them.
Sam, what's your take on this?
How'd you get TKO'd in a street fight? That would be quite an interesting one.
Well, I guess if you were down on the ground and someone stepped in to stop it out of fear that you were going to get hurt, I guess you could call that a street brawl TKO.
I mean, what's my take on it? I mean, it's...
Is a street brawl knockout then just death?
No, that's just getting literally knocked out.
But then they would stop.
Well, not necessarily, I guess. But no, my point is more like if you just take a beating and they go, right, this is over. Like, this is so one-sided, we're done. That's TKO in a street fight. If you literally get knocked out, unconscious, that's a knockout.
I mean, street fighting knockout is going to hurt more because you fall. You're not onto like a soft ring. You are straight down on hard pavement or road.
Exactly. So if anything, I might be favorite.
Oh, so if we take Mayweather out of the ring and you just met him in like, say, Mayweather will have like Vegas as his home fight.
Oh, I would say in a street
outside Bugsies.
No, in a street fight, I kick the shit out of him.
Wait,
I love this confidence. This is the same guy who told me a story that he got pummeled by 3 little French dudes.
No. Hold on a second. For starters, you don't know the size of those guys. None of them were little. They were all bigger than you. But
no way.
That's not a size knock on Frank. I'm just saying they were all bigger. And that was because the fight was in a bar, and I first started by saying, I don't want to fight. Like, don't do anything stupid. I don't want to fight. And then proceeded to have 5 guys just punch me. I wasn't going to win from that standpoint. Looking back on it, the thing that I did was dumb. It was clear at a certain moment in time the fight was going to happen. and I proceeded to try and diffuse the situation when I should have just realized they're about to punch me. I need to punch them first.
As opposed to just walk away from it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to say I could have just left the situation.
There's a moment in time when it's 5v1. You can't just walk. You can't be like, well, thank you guys for this wonderful evening. I'll be seeing you.
I think you need to try it if it's never happened.
Next, yeah, I'll do that. I'll turn my back on them.
Kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness.
Okay, I'll try that with Floyd.
Should have offered them a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, one of our listeners was holding on to mine, so.
Wow, he sounds like he was a great help in that fight. Eddie, I held your beer the whole time you got your ass kicked. Don't worry, it didn't spill.
No, it was even better. I mean, it was quite a large scuffle, shall we say. It, in the end, must have involved around 10 to 12 people. It took, a minute to 90 seconds, which in terms of bar fight length of time, it's actually pretty long. It sounds short, right? But actually people throwing punches, it's a pretty long time. And then Austin, who's the listener in question, just kind of reappeared after all of this had happened. And he was like, what happened? I was like, yeah, that just the fight? You didn't see it? He's like, no, what happened? It's like, oh God.
Wait, where was he? Was he in like the bathroom?
I think he went to dance or something. I'm not really sure where he went. I don't know. Unclear. But I had given him my beer moments before everything started because I said to him, Austin, you need to hold my beer. And he was like, why? And I was like, because there's about to be a fight and I'm going to need both of my hands. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, just trust me, hold my beer. And then a second later, I get hit and he's gone.
I like how, obviously, if that's the way the story went, at no point did he take any of the obvious, they weren't even hints. You were very
No, I was really direct. I told him exactly what was about to happen. And he did take hold of my beer and then he disappeared and then he reappeared afterwards. And I don't mean this as a criticism of him not having my back. I just mean it was amazing. He'd clearly somehow managed to just avoid the entire situation.
Trying to think. I think in like our time as friends, I don't think I've actually seen you properly brawl. I've seen you like almost and diffuse and, get in like a shouting match or something like that. But I'm trying to think of your brawler style. And I'm trying to there seems to be a cross between kind of like Godzilla swatting planes and someone spinning around with like the helicopter arms. Wait,
hold on. No. Don't kill me with the idea that I just just randomly wailing on people.
Would you adopt like a style? Would you put your fists up? Like what's the...
Would you put your fists up?
Yeah, like some 1920s.
Yeah, Queensbury rules. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Like, you, have at ya.
Are you having a bully day?
From the way Eddie told me this story, it didn't sound like he got his hands up much.
I mean, I'd love to see five guys start hitting you, Frank, and I'd love to try break down your technique step by step, because this is how the technique goes. Guy number one hits you, guy number two hits you, and then you realize I'm in big trouble. That's the sequence. This isn't some Bruce Lee movie. That's the sequence that plays out in your mind the moment you start to realize it's 5v1.
I like how
I've seen Born Identity.
Yeah.
Is that related to this subject, or are you just making a statement?
Yeah, no, he's just he's also seen Elf.
Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, what's point number 2?
Point number 2, I got ripped on for putting my dog in a bow tie for his birthday, and then I see on Eddie on the Instagram feed, he recently got 3rd place in a baby pool contest.
Hold on a second. Hey, this isn't ripping on me. This is actually ripping on someone else's baby, is what you're doing?
No, it's ripping on you for participating in the baby pool contest.
So for context, I attended a baby shower, a virtual baby shower. And as part of the virtual baby shower, they asked people to predict the size and weight of the baby that was due. So I gave a guess.
That was due?
That was, due to be born.
Oh, due. Okay.
and my guest
We're not
finished
going to
third.
unpack that.
Yeah, my guest finished third. I don't know what's the embarrassing part on my. Should I have told them this is a stupid idea? Get away from me.
Did you go?
Yep.
Did you go big baby?
No, not particularly. I can't actually even remember what the guess was, but no, it wasn't particularly big.
What do you get as third place?
We get a mystery cameo. So they are going to provide like a cameo message. So the online service Cameo, where you can pay celebrities to record a message for someone.
Yeah.
They are gonna get a mystery cameo and send it with a special message.
Legitimately, about 2 weeks ago, I looked on that for Paul Collingwood. And
Was he on it?
And no, he's not on it, sadly. There is some good people on it. But
Should
sadly,
we just
Paul
start
Collingwood's
investing? Should we just start looking for some of the biggest stars and start investing really heavily so we can call them as like podcast guests? Like if we get a person to pre-record maybe like 55 messages, we can then splice it into an episode.
That would be really good. The cameo kind of reminds me of what me, you, and Tim had discussed that one time, that it would be cool if there was an app or something like that where you could challenge athletes to something and then they can respond and like do said challenge and compare it to like their time or your time. Like for instance, if you want to challenge Michael Johnson right now in the 100-meter dash, and then like you film yourself running.
Floyd Mayweather to a bar fight.
Yeah, that would be difficult because you have to get together to do it. A lot of them you could just do like one spot and the other.
I just want you to know that Floyd Mayweather is £749.25. So if you legitimately want that to happen, we'll have to do a crowdfund, but it could happen.
I thought for a second you were talking about his weight. I was like, oh,
No.
What are you talking about?
He's talking
Currency
about
denomination.
pounds, British pound
what?
sterling for Cameo.
For Cameo.
Oh, he's on Cameo?
Yeah. So's Drew Brees.
Oh, we could get Drew Brees to record some great messages. Hey, Drew, what do you think about black people?
You could almost do like a higher lower game, couldn't you, with this? Like you could do Floyd Mayweather is 750. Is Drew Brees higher or lower?
I would say
Lower.
he's higher.
He is lower. He is £412.50.
So that's $500, right? If we're trying to
Yeah.
convert this into...
And that's for
Into
how
this.
much you get. How much do you get of them?
I think it's a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like 30 seconds to a minute. I think it depends on what you ask them to say and how nice they are. Because sometimes I've seen recordings of them and people go way over because they're just pleasant. And then some other people are just like, oh, you wanted me to wish a happy birthday to Frank? Happy birthday, Frank. Bye.
Oh, wow, you can get Mick Foley for £71.
I mean, there's some really sad ones out there where you wonder if anyone is ever asking them to record it.
Yeah, I've never gotten anyone to ask me yet. Still waiting on my first Cameo.
Any is there a third point by any chance that you want to rip into me on, or just
There
the
actually
two?
is a third point. I just remembered.
Okay,
So
go for it.
this is actually a pretty funny one. So I talked to Abe the other day. For our listeners who are new and don't know, we had told a previous story about our friend Abe, who dressed up as a cowboy for Halloween one year and was running through the streets of Paris in his cowboy outfit. But he said he had a dream with you in it. And in said dream, you were guest bartending at the bar across their street. And Erin, his wife, had left her jacket at the bar. So he went back to the bar to ask for her jacket. And you said, yeah, man, no problem. I got it right here. But it's going to be $150. And he said, why? Why do I got to pay it? He goes, you said, hey, man, I'm sorry. That's just the rule of the bar, and I can't break the rule. I'm really sorry. I can't give this to you until you give me $150. So I don't know what that says about what he thinks about you. Either he thinks you're really straight edge and stick to the rules, or he thinks you're a prick.
Well, I can tell you in all my time working in bars, I never once charged anyone to get an item back that they left behind. But yeah, I don't know what that says about what Abe thinks of me. But then also, I give absolutely no credence to dreams.
Really?
I'm on record.
Also, go ahead.
I'm on record as being, I never want to hear your dream story. Like, I literally never. No, I don't mean that specific to you, Frank, or Sam. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, in general, to me, like when someone's trying to tell you their dream, they might as well just be telling you. So I had this imaginary thought the other day, and I think it's imaginary and fascinating. Let me tell you about it. It's like, I don't care. I don't care what your brain managed to think up.
Wow. I think you would make a fantastic therapist.
I would do. Some people should thank me because I'd save them some time and money. Oh, can we analyze your dreams? No, I don't care. We'll keep that short there. I've just saved you hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
You're healed. Yeah. It did remind me, though, of the Tim story with his jacket at the bar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a difficult one to retell if you don't know Tim. But we do have a history of someone losing a jacket, and no one was charged for it. Well, I guess technically, Frank,
someone paid the price for it.
Well, yeah, we both paid the price in his anger and the mood that it created for the rest of the evening. And I guess, Frank, you were kind of charged for it because you had to pay for him the rest of the night and the next day, including for his lunch for reasons unknown.
Oh, wait, so his wallet was in the jacket, or did he just lose his jacket and then it's like, I don't want to pay anymore?
No, his wallet was in his... Because, you know, when you leave your jacket behind the bar, you leave all your valuable goods with it just in case.
So, Sam, I guess since we haven't really heard from you, I've got an icebreaker question for you.
Fire away.
Would you rather be a dolphin or a shark?
Is it any particular type of shark or just...
Yeah, any particular type of shark.
Go on.
Like I think you have to answer, Sam.
To this. No, but I thought you were going to have like a
Sam
follow-up.
does this whenever I ask him an icebreaker question, he never answers. He waits for someone else to answer.
So panicked. I'm going to go with a dolphin. Intelligence over power. Let's go with that. Yeah, I'm going to go with a dolphin. They just seem more fun as well. Like, I've swum with dolphins. It's great fun. Sharks, very independent. I'm not going to get anywhere near one. It's going to be crap. So I'd like to interact with humans. So therefore, I'm going to go.
Wait, hold on a second. Why are you never going to get? Like, I mean, I don't mean that I got a fear. You don't think sharks interact with each other at all?
I don't know. I just feel like they're quite lonely creatures.
I think it depends on the...
Do you have like a pack of sharks? I don't really know.
Yeah, sure. You always see those videos where there's just like a swarm of sharks, like in a certain area.
But is that just because they smell a bit of blood? Like, is that really, are they there? Like, are they hanging out? And have they had a good time before and said, let's go over here now? Or is it just because there's blood and then it's like every shark for himself?
I don't know if this podcast has to cross the line into like speculative animal.
I feel like they're pretty solitary, but they can probably come together at certain points, like in a feeding frenzy or something. But you don't usually see packs of sharks.
I think at a certain species of shark, they definitely exist in packs.
Like a whale shark.
I think whale sharks are pretty solitary.
I love it. This is the most speculative we've ever been on this podcast.
There is absolutely no concrete data going into this conversation.
I have very little information either. I think my learning about sharks stopped when I was like 8 years old, so it's not great.
I was gonna say my expertise is I'm in the field of science and I live on the ocean when I was younger.
I was going to say, you live in Arizona, Frank. If you think you live on the ocean, we might need to start there.
The answer is dolphin, Frank.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with the dolphin.
Now our listeners have a glimpse into your personal side.
I mean, I knew you would say dolphin.
I knew you would too.
Why?
Just, you seem like a dolphin guy. Just,
it's true.
I mean, not going to say what that means, but I knew 100%. If I'd had to have bet my life, I would have been very confident that you were going to answer dolphin.
Okay. Speaking of dolphins,
Oh, what a transition!
Yeah, I don't do these, and I just saw it light up. It was almost like
Now
Frank
we know
and I,
why.
it's
Now
almost
we know
like
why
we had
you don't.
rehearsed this. Hey, that was not a bad one. That is an obvious one. So speaking of the Dolphins, did you catch the Chiefs Dolphins games? Did you watch that one?
I did, yes.
I did as well.
Did we enjoy the Mahomes first half performance?
For a while, it looked like the Duke of Curse was kicking in on Mahomes. I mean, it was arguably it's the worst start of his career, even though he ended up throwing for quite a number of yards. And like on paper, it doesn't look that bad. It might be the worst start of his career, but
yeah. I mean, he had 2 picks and he had that really bad sack, the 30-yard sack.
Yeah, whatever. When he decided he was playing Madden for a second,
that was definitely a Madden play.
It's crazy.
Like, oh, I'm going to get sacked. I should just I'm going to get a 30-yard sack here.
I'm going to try and run away in that really long arced loop that we do in Madden that usually works.
Yeah, with multiple players chasing me too. So even if I get to past one, I'm going to have to get by the rest. I thought actually overall, I mean, I don't really know how the final score ended up being quite as close as it was. But I think the Dolphins, given the injuries they have offensively, would be really happy with how they managed to kind of hang with the Chiefs, even though that game wasn't like for the third and fourth quarter of the game was clearly over. I think still they'll be pleased. They'll walk away with that thinking, if we had to play the Chiefs in the playoffs, we give ourselves a chance.
Yeah, so I have a positive and a negative if I were the Chiefs taking away from that game. I think the negative is this is now, I want to say probably the 3rd time this season I've seen them take a pretty aggressive lead and then just completely sit on it and rely on a defense that you cannot rely on. I don't know how many times they're going to think their defense can stop someone, but they can't. You, as a Chiefs team, you just have to run up the score as much as possible. You can't get up 3 scores and then say, all right, we're just going to get a little conservative, do some run plays, some like small passes, nothing crazy, because you never know. And it happened again this game to an offense that's okay, not phenomenal, and they just let them back in the game. So I think they really need to work on that and just go full throttle 4 quarters. But the positive I take away from this is looking at the stats in this game, it makes it hard for me to believe how you can beat the Chiefs. They had 4 3-and-outs and 4 turnovers in one game. So that's 8 opportunities that you gave them the ball and then got it basically right back. And they still put up 33 points. And that's after taking their foot off the gas in the second half. So, I mean, if you're getting, let's say, 8 good stops on them, and you still can't beat them. And I mean, the score was closer than the game actually was. I think it's just going to be really tough to beat them.
I mean, yes and no. The difference is that I would combine your 2 points, which is the Dolphins didn't take advantage of the Chiefs' slow start. So fine. I mean, the Chiefs didn't score in the first quarter, and the Dolphins had the ball quite a lot in the first half, and they only scored 10 points. Now, I think the Chiefs would have lost if instead the Dolphins had scored 21 in the first half. Like, I think the Dolphins.
I mean, the Chiefs are known to come back from things like that. I mean, they did it all playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean, they've also lost, right? Like,
one game in 18 games.
Well, they lost last year too. They weren't undefeated last year, so it's not. I mean, but you have to, you can't have the other team. You can't have the team that's clearly better than you be sloppy and have a slow start and not punish them for it. And fundamentally, the Dolphins didn't really punish the Chiefs for their poor play. They stopped them from scoring, but then they didn't really score themselves. So the more I see of the Chiefs, I actually think the more beatable they are. But and again, they still are Super Bowl favorites, and they might be the best team in the league. But I look at it and I see weaknesses. I see weaknesses in their defense. I see weaknesses in their running game, which has just fallen off a cliff. So like that would concern me going into the playoffs. Like everyone coming into this year was talking about how adding the rookie running back that they added was going to just be the final piece the final piece in the puzzle in terms of making their offense just historically the best of all time. And then now it's like, well, their running game probably needs some work.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyreek Hill led the game yesterday in rushing yards for them. But I mean, I guess kind of what I'm just saying is, even with 8 times of them being shut down and not getting anything, they still put up 33 points. And I think what scares me about them is, especially Mahomes, they're just really good at washing away the pass and completely forgetting it, and then just building off of like the next drive. Like he came out and threw 2 shitty interceptions really early, and then next series he's just throwing deep bombs still. Like it doesn't phase them. And I think a lot of that's actually Andy Reid is just aggressive as a play caller and doesn't dwell on like their past drives very much, which is good. I mean, you see a lot of quarterbacks that would have gotten into their head and they would have had a pretty poor game.
Yeah. Now look, it's one thing. I mean, the argument against what I'm about to say is what they did last year in the playoffs, but it's one thing to do that in a regular season game against the Dolphins when you're, 9-1, whatever they are now. We're 11-1, 11-1 at the time, facing the prospect of just being 11-2. Different in the playoffs. And okay, they did that last year in the playoffs, but sooner or later it will come back to bite them. Like you can't just rely on the fact of we're going to be so much better than every team in the second half that the first half almost doesn't matter. And I'm not saying that's what their attitude is, but they are going to dig themselves a hole that they can't get out of sooner or later. Well, the real talking about that game, though, is, right, that they are now the 1 seed in the AFC, which kind of didn't look like it was going to happen. The fact that over the past few days, they've gone from probably being resigned to being the 2 seed to now being almost certain to be the 1 seed is a pretty seismic shift in the prospect not for the Chiefs, because I don't think it would have changed much if they'd had to play a first round game. They would have been heavy favorites against whoever they were going to play. But definitely for the Steelers, this totally changes their outlook in terms of their odds of making the Super Bowl.
Can I pull the Stephen A. Smith?
Sure.
I told you so. I told you the Steelers are the most overrated team in the NFL.
You don't get to call this. You don't get to call this.
I told you. They'd be lucky if they even make the playoffs at this point.
Stephen A. Smith would be embarrassed to try and spin that one. But speaking of teams, actually, before we get into the Steelers or anything else, speaking of teams that you have liked all year and you have defended, the Texans once again looked very bad.
Terrible.
And also last week you asked us if you flipped Trubisky and you got the stat? Do you know what stat?
No. I wrote that down. I said one of my notes for today was how many wins would the Texans have if Trubisky was playing for them? Right.
And now let's take a look. Career starting records as quarterbacks. After yesterday, Deshaun Watson is now 28-22 in his career. After yesterday, Mitch Trubisky is now 27-20 in his career. So virtually identical, but a slight edge on percentage to Trubisky as things stand. Doesn't look so great for Watson, it has to be said. Now, I'm not going to suddenly throw him in the garbage heap because of this season, but there gets to a moment in time where it can't just be the fact that he doesn't have things around him. Like a really good quarterback would just drag you to more wins than this.
Yeah, but I mean, Trubisky is an extreme case, no? He's playing with a team that has a notoriously great defense for the past 4 or 5 years. I would say that their defense probably lets up, 7 points less than the Texans defense over those years as a starter.
I'd have to do research. I don't know. Watson has definitely had seasons where he's played with very good Texans defenses.
Maybe one.
And more to the point, he's played with, let's not forget, he played with DeAndre Hopkins, which now all of a sudden was such a huge game changer. Now, I'm not knocking this. I thought we discussed it preseason. It was a ridiculous trade, but it's been the game-changing piece being added to the Cardinals, supposedly. And yet it just helped Deshaun Watson be a 500 quarterback.
Well, that's what's helping Kyler Murray do.
Yeah, also true.
Yeah, I did have that though on my notes. I thought that was so funny watching that game. That's one of those ones that's really annoying because that was more offense than they've had in the past 4 weeks combined. And I don't know if I can attribute that to Mitch Trubisky, although he did play well. His numbers suggest it, but I didn't really watch much of that. I was more glued on the Chiefs game and the Giants, which was a very disappointing performance. In classic Giants fashion, they give you just this tiny bit of hope, and then it all comes crashing down with an absolutely pitiful performance.
Yeah, they were
pitiful.
never in that game. Yeah, pitiful. Mixture of the two.
Yeah, it was a pitiable performance.
Yeah. I mean, what was it, like under 100 passing, under 100 rushing? There was just nothing going on for him.
Yeah, and I guess what bothers me is afterwards they asked Joe Judge, like, why did you put Daniel Jones in? And he said, well, he's our starter. We knew he wasn't going to be 100%. We knew he wasn't going to be able to run the offense he normally runs. I mean, if that's the case, if the reason Daniel Jones has played well at points this season is because he's able to get out of the pocket, rush for first downs, extend a drive with his legs, things like that. I mean, if you watch him as a sit in the pocket passer, he's just going to fumble and throw interceptions. That's the worst part of his game, and so why would you limit him to his worst part of his game? And it showed. I think he fumbled the ball 3 times in the first half. Only one was actually turned over, but he did not look good. He couldn't move out of the pocket. He got sacked every other drive, every other play almost. It was a mess. So I don't know why you put him in there if it's just for him to fail.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think they would have won with Colt McCoy. So, I mean, we all picked, I guess with the exception of you, Frank, but Sam and I picked the Cardinals there. I was pretty confident the Cardinals, just that the firepower the Cardinals have was going to mean that the Giants weren't going to be able to keep up, no matter whether it was Jones or McCoy playing for them. So you were kind of lose-lose if you're Joe Judge, because if you don't bring Daniel Jones back and then Colt McCoy starts and then they lose badly, and then people say, oh, really? So you got a playoff chance and your starter is healthy and you're not bringing him back in? Either what does that mean for Daniel Jones's future as a Giant because you're not giving him the opportunity to try and get this team to the playoffs? Or what does that say about you as a coach in terms of your decision-making abilities? Like, the safer option was to let Daniel Jones start, and then if he plays badly and loses, he plays badly and loses.
I mean, what was it, like 8 sacks, right? It was like 8 sacks in the game. So that's not all Daniel Jones. Like, yeah, okay, not getting it off is right, but simultaneously, there was absolutely no protection for him in that game. Like,
against a not very good Cardinals defense.
I guess more to that point, though, if this is your first half stat line, fumble by Daniel Jones that was a 14-yard drive, punt 7-yard drive, punt 12-yard drive, punt 3-yard drive, punt 20-yard drive, punt 2-yard drive. At the end of the half, then do you make the change? I mean, he literally had 40 yards of offense in the whole
at a certain moment in time, you have to think beyond the game you're playing, and you kind of have to think about it as anyone managing a person, right? Which is, if I pull Daniel Jones now, what's the effect that this could have on his confidence? What message does it send to the rest of the team? Like, you're not pulling. If you're a genuine starter and your job is not up for question, you're not getting pulled at halftime because of a bad performance.
But what if you were already slightly injured, though? That's the thing you could argue, that he was already kind of injured. You put him in there. He clearly wasn't 100%, couldn't move around, couldn't do anything.
Well, you've made the decision that he's healthy enough. I guess at some point you're asking him, do you feel you can continue? If the guy says yes, then, and look, the game wasn't over.
Yeah, and that's why I think it would have been better to pull him, because it wasn't over.
But then you get yourself into a QB controvery.
I don't think so. You just say you pulled him because he was hurt still. But
if you bring Colt McCoy and he wins, this is the Trubisky. We saw this play out with the Chicago Bears early this season. This exact scenario almost. And you bring Colt McCoy and he wins, which probably wouldn't have happened, but just say it does. then how can you not start Colt McCoy the following game?
I mean, I think if he just comes back and he's healthy 100% and he can move around, then that's different. But I just, after watching that first half, it was extremely clear that he just wasn't 100%. And when his best attribute is his legs right now, because he can escape the pocket, he can, get those first downs. He's not a great sit back pocket passer right now. That's what he needs to improve upon the most. And if you put him at 75% of what he normally is, it was a mess.
I don't disagree with you, but I just think at a certain moment, you got to look at the bigger picture beyond a single game.
Well, I guess going from that not so great quarterback performance and non-switch to a team that did switch their QB in the NFC East and is now back in the hunt, you've got Jalen Hurts leading the Eagles to a nice win over the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel sorry for Carson Wentz. Which is tough about someone earning the amount of money that Carson Wentz is earning, because I'll switch places with Carson Wentz. But I do feel bad for him.
I mean, Hurts didn't do much, right? It was a completely rushing dominated performance. I think they put up like 250 or something near that in rushing. And it was only two players. What was it, like Sanders? And Hurts did a load of running as well. But he didn't have to do anything except run to beat the Saints with that Eagles team.
Yeah, and the Saints were also truly incompetent on the day. Like, I would say this Eagles victory is the same way. Like, everyone knows that they got talent, right, on both sides of the ball. So, like, this to me is no dissimilar than when they beat the Niners earlier in the season. And not to say the Niners are as good as the Saints, but like, it's the same level in terms of, if the Eagles turn up and they kind of things are going well for them, and then they're a good team. And in this time, the Saints just looked awful too. I mean, how they didn't turn it over to Jameis Winston is talking about QBs that should have been pulled at halftime. Like, that was a move that should have been made.
Yeah, I mean, we even discussed it in our chat. I was calling for Jameis Winston to be put in.
Thing is, it's a callback that so many people are not going to get.
Speaking of that, I don't know what to think of the NFC East now, but it just gets more interesting by the minute, right? Because the NFC playoff race, no one takes a grip on it. And it ultimately means that these teams like Washington now that are on a 4-win streak, didn't have to do much offensively, beat the 49ers, all of a sudden are well in the playoff picture. But then you've got the Eagles, where I think they play Washington next week. That would flip and Washington would go right back down. And it's shit, but it's interesting, right? The NFC race.
So Washington plays Seattle next week, but they play Eagles. They play the Eagles in the final game of the season. So it's tough because you start looking at it and trying to figure out like who's going to win and when. And it's tough because each of them is getting kind of unexpected wins. And then when they play against each other, who knows what's going to happen. So like the Eagles still have to play the Cowboys and Washington. You could tell me they win both of those. You could tell me they lose both of them by 40 points. I wouldn't really know how to predict it. And then you look at the Giants schedule, they play the Browns, the Ravens, and the Cowboys. You'd have to feel like that's one win.
Yeah, agreed.
And then Washington plays Seattle. You've got I'm going to think they lose that. They play the Panthers, which is winnable, and they play the Eagles. So maybe they get 2 wins. It's fundamentally Washington's division to lose now.
With the streak they're on as well. I mean, the 4 games have been Cowboys and Bengals. Okay, that's you'd almost put them as favoritism. Maybe they were. I can't remember. But then Steelers and 49ers. They don't seem to need to do much to win these games either. That's the interesting thing.
Now, the big question here is going to be the Alex Smith situation, because they're not going to win another game if Haskins is starting a quarterback for them for the final 3 games. Now, I will say, if you recall, a few weeks ago, tried to encourage the Big Chill podcast to take the Washington football team. They were like 8-1 at that moment in time when suggested them as the likely winner of this division. That's looking pretty right now.
I thought you were going to tell us the time you suggested the Big Chill podcast to take Ben Roethlisberger as the MVP. Because if we want to talk about curses, ever since you suggested that, he looks like he needs to go back into his nightclub and start drinking again.
No. I mean, yeah, not the best performance by the Steelers, but I think they're trying to work out some things on offense.
Well, it's QB, right? I mean,
it's not his fault. I think they're trying to replace their run game with this quick pass scheme, and then when they have drops, it just kills them. And a game like yesterday, they just had so many drops. Like,
they lead the NFL in drops by a crazy amount.
But in part, it's because of the scheme. Like, my take on it is because of the way they try and run their offense, which is fundamentally no running game, and instead it's just like quick passes to try and replace that. So you're like, the receivers aren't getting set. They're just having to like turn their heads instantly and catch a pass. It's not the ideal situation, but in a game yesterday, they still had some really bad drops. So I'm not sure I'm putting it on Big Ben. I mean, the issue with Big Ben anyways, when things aren't going well, he just looks so lethargic and just like he doesn't want to be there that it just sends such bad vibes. Like when the Steelers look bad, they look so bad just because of the way that he carries himself and the energy he gives off.
I mean, give a lot of credit though to the Bills' defense, right? Because I looked at the the Steelers only had 1 third down conversion in the game. I mean,
oh yeah. Look, a couple weeks ago, I'm not going to try and fall back on my takes here. But a couple weeks ago, Frank, you were trying to beat me over the head with my Bills Super Bowl prediction. That's not looking so bad now.
No, and actually, I think the best thing I saw last night was their defense. If that's how their defense plays in the playoffs, then they have a legitimate shot to win the Super Bowl. And I mean that in the fact that they'll have to go through the Chiefs. And I think that defense coupled with that offense has the potential to beat them. Because if they can stop them and hold them to 30, I think the Bills offense against the Chiefs defense can put over 30. And I think they're one of the few teams that can beat them if their defense plays like they did last week. But most of the season, we haven't seen their defense play that well. So I don't know if that was a one-off or if they're finally getting into stride.
Well, that bye week was a blessing, right? They went into that bye week looking pretty shoddy, lifeless in both offense and defense. They had the bye week, and then they've come back with these 2 really great performances as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked earlier in the season, right, where because the Bills over the past few years have had really good defenses, there was kind of a myth surrounding them this year that they had a good defense, and it's just been atrocious. So I do agree with you. If their defense is even approaching kind of mediocre, then they've got a shot in the playoffs. But if their defense is the defense we saw early in the season, then no chance.
Now let me throw this out at you, even though I partly hate doing the what ifs. Who gets second in the AFC? So right now you have Steelers 11-2, Bills 10-3. Out of those 2, the Bills have left the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. And the Steelers have left, I believe, the Browns, the Colts, and the Bengals.
Yeah, they're the Bengals next week. You've done it in reverse order.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Bengals, then Colts, then Browns. I think the Bills will be the 2 seed because they got the tiebreaker now, obviously. So I think the Bills have a pretty decent chance of not losing again this season, whereas I think the Steelers will now lose again. Even if it's just the Week 17 one is going to be in. This is always the difficult thing, right? Is predicting what's the situation going to be in Week 17. Are you going to be in a position, like, will they need to play their starters? Will the other team need to? And so...
Well, I think with the one bye, I think almost every team's going to want to play full strength on Week 17. Maybe not the Chiefs. Maybe not the Chiefs.
So you think that? Oh, you mean because of the prospect? You mean not rest players to keep them in rhythm?
No, I'm saying I think because. So I was thinking more the NFC. I don't think anyone's going to rest in the NFC because anyone could still be the number 1 seed in the NFC because there's only one bye. So the bye becomes really important. You really want that bye. So it's not like last year you could have said, okay, you know, like we're number 2, we've got a bye no matter what. We don't have home field throughout, but whatever, we can deal with that. Let's rest. I think here with the fact, especially how this season is kind of dragged on for these players, that bye is going to become really important.
Yeah, not even the bye, right? It's also just going to be whether or not you're playing at home in the week 1. And I think the playoff picture in both the AFC and the NFC is tight enough that for most teams going into week 17, there'll be the prospect of dropping from the 3 seed to the 5 seed or whatever it is. So just from thinking about how many home games are we going to play in the playoffs, there's going to be an incentive enough there to start. Like, it's hard to imagine a scenario where either the Browns or the Steelers can bench players in week 17.
Oh yeah, agreed. Yeah, and just looking at this, if the Bills jump over the Steelers look like they'll be playing either the Titans, the Browns, or the Colts in the first round. That does not bode well for a team that was once 11-0. That could be a one and done. So real quick, now that we're still talking about the playoffs, who's your number 1 pick for the NFC right now? Who wins the NFC championship game right now?
Oh, so hard to. The Rams.
Wow, that was going to be my pick. I thought you were going to rip into me. It's actually going to be my pick as well.
Oh, great. There you go.
The Rams have no chance.
Put your money on the Rams to win the NFC championship right now.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't love it, but I think their defense looks pretty great.
Yeah, and for me, it's the defense.
Then it's just, does Jared Goff turn up?
As long as they're not playing the Niners, he should.
Yeah, does he turn up?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'd pick the Rams or the Packers. I mean, probably people aren't giving the Packers the respect that they probably deserve at this point, but those two, it's very hard for me to pick the Saints. But then I guess I'd like to know if Drew Brees is back. I mean, assuming yes, right, for the playoffs,
yeah.
But that would be a question there. I'm not going to pick anyone from the NFC East to win the NFC. And then the only other teams you could really say, like the Buccaneers, they just don't look very good.
I don't think they look good at all, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, they could have lost that game against the Vikings if Dan Bailey could kick a fucking field goal or an extra point for that matter. He missed 10 points. He left 10 points on the board.
What is it now? 7 in 2 games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
insane.
just that he missed. It's not just that he missed too. Like, he missed the net. Like, he wasn't just missing the getting in between the posts. He was missing what the NFL considers to be like the expected miss.
I love the idea of, the saying like nothing but net. This is like nothing including net.
I mean, it was horrific. It was such a bad miss that the camera guys were doing well to kind of like get the ball in the frame. It was just so bad.
I mean, the Rams have got a couple of good, most of all games in their division are good, but they've got the Jets, but then they've got good divisional games really as a test of that going into the playoff picture, right? So they've got the Seahawks and the Cardinals. So, Goff will probably have a field day like Wilson just did with, even on 3 quarters with the Jets. So those 2 games will be a really good metric for this team, I think, because they're both playoff hunters, right, as well. So I think you're going to get 2 really good kind of end of season divisional games there with like the Rams Seahawks and the Rams Cardinals.
I mean, look, this hasn't been the prettiest NFL season of all time, but you'd at least say the one thing it's going to deliver is some of the most exciting final games like of the season ever. It's very rare to have, kind of touching on the same thing we just said in terms of teams won't be able to rest players. It's not often that there's so many divisions still up for play, so many teams still in the playoff hunt. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see so much change, and it's at least going to deliver that. I think the quality of play has dipped, and the quality of teams overall not as strong as maybe we've seen in recent seasons. But in terms of the excitement you're going to get in the final weeks of the season, it will be up there with any other season.
Here's a question. Can the Patriots get the Dolphins for the playoff picture. So at the moment, they're Patriots are 6-7, Dolphins are 8-6, but Belichick gets the opportunity against a rookie QB, right? They've got to play, I think, in a couple of weeks. So let's say that the Patriots win that game against the Dolphins. You've got the Dolphins at what, 8 and well,
They play this week.
Is it this one? It's the next game,
Yeah.
right? So you could go Patriots go what 7-7, and Dolphins go 8-6. Like, can it happen? I haven't actually seen their schedules. I don't know if you got it in front of you, but it's that slim chance just is staying, isn't it? What, they've had that slim chance for now like 4 weeks, and wins or losses, they lose at the right time and they win at the right time as well.
They have a chance.
Are you asking? I would say, are you asking logistically? Do they have a chance, or
no? I know logistically they
have.
I know logistically and mathematically they have a chance, but like, can they chase the Dolphins down?
If they win this weekend, which I don't think they'll win, if they win this weekend, they'll probably overtake the Dolphins.
And then what do you think
I
about?
Can't see it.
What do you think about Patriots team in the playoffs then?
Do you know the remaining games, Frank?
Jets.
They both play they play each other. They both play the Bills. The Patriots play the Jets. That's a win. And then the Dolphins also play the Raiders, which isn't a gimme, but it's looking easier by the week.
But I mean, I'll just go off the basis that I don't think the Patriots can beat the Dolphins this week.
For sure, but
then they're out, and then it's over.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, categorically, Sam, the answer is no, coming from Frank. So again, the Patriots.
No, but I mean, like, then I think it's actually over, though, right? I think if the Dolphins beat the Patriots.
Well, the line's only 2.5. So I assume in our picks, you'll be loving that Dolphins 2.5 line.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch them on Thursday? Their offense it's nothing. They have no offense.
But they're hit or miss. I mean, this is one thing, right? So
are they really hit or miss?
Well,
when has their offense been good? 1 week against the Ravens, right? Was it even that good?
Well, they looked good against Seattle. Their offense was pretty good in like week 3 or whenever that was.
The worst defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll point to the Belichick Herbert last game for a bit of inspiration in that one. You got a rookie QB
I agree with you.
That isn't firing at the moment either. It's hardly like Chua's killing it. And you just, granted it wasn't a Patriots offense, so I defer to your point on that got them into their 45-0 win or whatever it was. But fundamentally, it's Belichick against a rookie QB, and that's what happens. And that 2.5, actually, just to let it known, I'll be taking the Patriots in that game. I like
also,
it.
the other spin on this too, right, is that the Dolphins have kind of had like a hoodoo over the Patriots in recent seasons when the Dolphins have been really bad, but they've consistently managed to win games against the Patriots. And at times they've derailed Patriot seasons, including last year, right? Because last year, week 17, I think it was, or week 16 when they played each other. And it was and the Dolphins won. And then that cost the Patriots the bye. And that fundamentally, as it turned out, ruined the Patriots season because they then just had an absolute stinker in the first round of the playoffs. So it would kind of be a role reversal here for the Patriots to play the spoiler in the Dolphins season. So there's kind of that element going for it as well.
And you have Belichick against a former employee in Brian
Now,
Flores.
That's an interesting one, right? Belichick has been killed historically for like not having a good coaching tree, that like everyone who's come out of the Belichick system has been a failure. And, like that's one of those things that people for years have liked to compare Belichick with other historically great coaches and say he doesn't produce good coaches. That's kind of starting, you got to say that's kind of starting to turn. Like you have Flores, you have Joe Judge doing a decent job in
Vrabel.
You have Vrabel with the Titans. Like that's 3. There's a possibility that 3 members of his coaching team are in the playoffs this year, former members of his coaching team.
Yeah.
Like slowly starting to change. I mean, Matt Patricia's just there as a huge black spot on his copybook, but
it's 2. It's Patricia and O'Brien have just killed it. And then what's his face who went back, McDaniel.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was so much Belichick. I think that's just McDaniel is just not a good head coach in general.
Also, he's young, right? So you never know. Like sometimes people need that opportunity to fail once. Like I think that's a pretty common theme with head coaches. It's like you got to that like initial failure out of the way, and then you learn from that. You go somewhere else.
So the only other thing I wanted to cover is in that Chiefs win, Tyreek Hill had another impressive game. And we talked last week about his antics, which he didn't flip this week. So obviously something must have been said to him. He did throw up the peace sign, I think, both times, or at least the one he did. There was in the college game a player who tried to imitate Tyreek Hill and do a front flip when scoring a touchdown. And as Eddie has said previously, he injured himself, which is always the risk of doing the flip to score. So there is the prime example right on cue of a idiot doing a stupid thing that's completely unnecessary and just shooting himself in the foot almost literally.
What was
I think he actually high ankle sprained himself.
Which is it could be worse. Not a good injury, but it could be far, far worse with the risk that you're taking. It's such a dumb move. Such a dumb move. I hope someone spoke to Tyreek Hill about it. Yeah, or that he at least realized that he was crossing into the arrogant asshole territory. But,
I mean, someone must have, because he didn't do it for either.
Or he just realized I look stupid.
Yeah.
I look like a total prick.
Maybe he listened to our podcast and he didn't want to upset you anymore, Eddie. So he said, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we live in a world where you're a huge Mahomes fan, but Tyreek Hill is a huge Eddie fan, and he was disappointed that the guy he loves has turned on him. So thank you, Tyreek, for listening to me. You're not back in the good books yet, but you're not in the bad books anymore.
So in the future, Patrick Mahomes is going to replace you on the podcast, but then Tyreek Hill is going to replace me on the podcast. So the future is going to be Mahomes, Hill, and Sam.
Yeah, I love that. I'm just still doing it.
So you get to do both.
So talking about having to keep your eye on the TV, I think we're going to have to start keeping our eye on the new name for the Cleveland Indians, because as of now, they said they are dropping the Indian from the name.
Rough segue there. I'm going to give Sam's winning the segue battle so far in this podcast. that one was a little bit forced. Big Ben would have been proud, but it's obviously they've had that name for 105 years, I think, and there's been pressure on them for a while, and I don't want to be one of those guys because obviously I'm not of the political leanings where I'm going to subscribe to like slippery slope take.
But
this does seem as if we are approaching, just because I can 100% get why. So for example, like Washington, I was of the opinion needed to change. The Indians, I was kind of in the don't have a strong feeling, but if there's sentiment within obviously the Native American community, they should change. Now, when you see the other teams getting rumored to being forced into changing, like the Blackhawks or, like any team with any reference to any Native American aspect, to me, that just becomes a little bit difficult.
Well, they did get rid of the racist logo at least. So that was a start.
Yes. And the same with the Indians.
Chief Wahoo is no longer Chief Wahoo.
Yeah, Chief Wahoo, they got rid of a little bit of like 2 or 3. I mean, they got rid of the killer for Chief Wahoo was when they were appearing in the World Series and they had Chief Wahoo on their caps. That was, yeah. I mean, I have the t-shirt I once attending an Indians game in Cleveland was amazed that they were selling this Chief Wahoo t-shirt that just had his full face like emblazoned on the front of the t-shirt. I saw it hanging up and I was like, that is one of the more racist, like openly racist things I've ever been seen just being sold in public without it coming from. And no, there's no
but. I had to buy it. But I had to buy it.
I had to buy it because I was like, I cannot believe there's no way this thing is going to be sold 10 years from now. And I was right. So that is a collector's item. Anyone who wants to buy it, it's for sale. You can contact me. $1,500.
Slightly worn.
I've actually just
Slightly
looked
used.
up, I've looked up Chief Wahoo now, and it looks like something from like a 1950s Disney.
Well, which is basically
Yeah.
what it is. But yes, the bucked tooth Native American, it's not a good look.
Who acts very like erratically.
Yes. Yeah, no, not great. That one definitely had to go. The name itself, sure. I mean, put it this way, I don't think it's an amazing name, so they can definitely come up with a better name. Now, whether or not they will, now if they're just going to be Cleveland baseball team, like,
Which
but-
quick sidebar. I know I have trouble that I call Washington by their former name, the Redskins, but at least I do not call them the football team. And there are people still calling them the football team. It's not the football team. That's not their name. They're like,
you mean Scott Hansen?
It drives me insane. It's not just Scott Hansen. I mean,
know,
I hear it on a normal
Scott
basis.
Hansen loves to do it, and I almost feel like I don't. In the Scott Hansen instance, I don't know if he is making fun of it. He's like, "Let's go see what the football team are doing now." Like, I don't know if he's making a joke that it's a bad name, but
The ones on the radio are not making a joke. They call them the football team, and it's like, have you ever seen any other sport that just has, I don't get, even with soccer now being slightly popular here, there are several teams that are something FC in the States.
Yeah.
And they don't call them
football
FC. Yeah, they don't call them football club.
Yeah.
They call them by where they are.
Although I'm going to switch. I think we should do that, and it would make it really complicated in like England. Insert.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you do it at times, right? Like City, and people get annoyed by this. And I say this as a supporter, like Blackburn Rovers supporters who normally would just refer to the club as Rovers. Like they see if you say Blackburn as an indication that you are not a supporter. Like it's a red flag if you don't just say Rovers. And then they get annoyed that fundamentally, like in the media, they're not just referred to as Rovers. And look, I'm a Blackburn Rovers supporter, but I do understand there are other clubs in England called Rovers, and Blackburn are not of this stature required to.
Aren't you the most famous Rovers, though?
Definitely the most famous, but there are others like
Bristol,
Doncaster,
Bristol Rovers,
probably a few others that I
Shamrock over in Ireland.
Yeah.
What is a rover?
Like a Range Rover.
Yeah, what is it?
I can't describe it, but I can tell you other things that it relates to.
Is it an animal?
No, like a person.
Wouldn't that be a Roma?
No.
I think it might actually be like a car thing. A Rover.
No, because Blackburn Rovers existed with their name.
No, like there was
a
a bicycle maker called Rover Company in 1878.
You mean like Rover, like the currently existing car manufacturer, the English car manufacturer?
Wouldn't that be fun?
But then what would be the link to Blackburn, which was founded in 1875?
I don't know. That's for people to find out. That's for our users to expose the conspiracy.
I always thought of it as the person, like someone who tends to rove, someone who is a rover.
I like people who use
like
the
a wanderer.
Word. Yeah, I
Exactly,
love people who use the
that-
word to describe.
Yeah, it's always good. You're on top of things. I'm the reverse of like a spelling contest in a spelling bee when they're like, "Can you please use that word in a sentence?" That's how I think of the actual definition of the word.
I think you're right though. It's the same way that they're called wanderers as well, like wolves.
Bolton Wanderers.
Wolves, wanderers, and rangers. It's the same thing. So it's the idea that it has connotations of perpetual traveling and restlessness.
Ah, perfect for me. Yeah,
Going all the way back to the Indians.
Yeah, so to kind of start to work our way back, to rove our way back in the direction of Cleveland here.
We were really rovering over those terminology.
some teams do reach a stage where you can do it. I think most people, when someone says City, they think of Manchester City. You say United, people think you're referring to Manchester United. This is in spite of the fact that there are multiple. Leeds United are in the Premier League. If someone says United won this weekend, I do not think of Leeds. So you can get to the level where.
What about Sheffield? No respect for Sheffield United?
No, I mean, I wasn't going to try and name every United city.
They're also in.
Yeah, no. There's multiple, but my point still stands, right? Like if you say United, everyone knows who you're talking about. Now, I'm sure if I was in Leeds and I said, "Oh, big match for United coming up this weekend," everyone would think I'm talking about Leeds. But so you could get to that level, but just doing it with like football club or football team is way too extreme.
Yeah, like Liverpool or FC, right? You would never ever.
No, just a big match for FC this weekend.
It just sounds so ridiculous.
It's so dumb. I hate when they call Washington the football team. Well, if you say Washington football team, that's okay, but you can't say like, oh yeah, and football team beat the Niners this week.
It almost sounds like you've been like there's some sort of like dispute over copyright or like naming rights that you have to just call them football team.
Or it's someone who like doesn't know about the sport, who's like trying to do like water cooler talk.
You know, how about that football team this weekend?
Yeah. Football team was really good on Sunday, weren't they? Like the football team looked so good.
I mean, water cooler talk, that would actually go down pretty well over the past few weeks.
True.
Eddie, would you call yourself a rover? You said it fits you well. You've been pretty stuck in on Paris for a while.
I was more thinking of the eternal restlessness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. More than my more than my propensity to travel. Although I would fundamentally, even though I have been in Paris now for the last 7 years, I guess over the course of my life, I have roved more than most.
I have never, ever heard this word in a sentence outside of, what did you think of Blackburn Rovers?
That's because you don't get out and rove. Exactly. You don't see the world.
I wanderer. I'm a wanderer.
No.
So going back to the Indians, as they are called now, there are several names up in discussion. Some legitimate, some stupid.
Supposedly, right?
So so here I have a few of ones that people have been talking about. So one is the Cleveland Spiders. So the Spiders was the original Cleveland baseball team back in the late 1800s. I think that one could be okay because there aren't spiders in any other sport off the top of my head.
Why spiders though? What's the association with like Cleveland or
nothing?
Okay. Nothing. That's just what the original team was called.
They were just trying to think of an animal or an insect, and
and if you think of Spider-Man, the colors kind of match with the blue and the red. So there's that potential there that you could kind of get some overlap.
To me, it doesn't sound good. Like the Spiders. It sounds like a movie. It sounds like they're making like Any Given Sunday and they're having to think up a name for it, and it's like, well, and the Spiders played the Spiders played the Rhinos this weekend. Like it seems like a screenplay has been put together with teams that they know are like copyright free. Like
you're right.
That's my only issue with it.
I think the logo could be cool. Like they could do a lot of fun things with it. It's got potential to be a cool looking team.
Yeah, or it could look super dorky. Yeah. It could go one way or the other.
So another one that's been brought up is the Cleveland Buckeyes. And that also has historical significance because that was the name of the Negro American League team from Cleveland in the 1940s. So that was kind of, they could like pay respects to that. But the issue is Ohio State is the Buckeyes, and to take anything away from Ohio State might just get people in Ohio pissed off.
I think that could go one of two ways. So in one respect, it's like you think Buckeyes, you think Ohio State, and so it's people are going to feel like you're kind of trying to take something away from the football team. The other thing is you could just be kind of like unifying the concept of the Buckeye as being the Ohio thing. And so having a professional team with that as its name kind of cements Not that anyone else is trying to lay claim to the Buckeye, but it does kind of like cement the Buckeye as being like the Ohio thing. I guess the downside for that is sucks for Cincinnati. Like if Cleveland gets to give itself like the state name, not the you know what I mean, like gets to claim that like state figure as its team name, and then the Cincinnati are just the Reds. It's like, wow, that kind of sucks for you guys.
I always thought Buckeye was a little bit not derogatory, but if you called someone buck-eyed, isn't it meant to be that their eyes are like a little bit kind of?
I think you're combining cross-eyed and buck-toothed.
Yeah.
No, I always thought there was like if you called someone buck-eyed.
No,
It's a really ugly person. They have buck teeth and they're cross-eyed. They're buck-eyed.
But you do remind me of, there's like a bit that Daniel Tosh did on Tosh.0 where he said like non-racist terms, but like got a panel together and then asked like, is this a like racial slur? And basically if you like say it in the right way, it makes it sound awful. So like the Buckeyes, they're like, oh, I hate those Buckeyes. Like that guy is a total Buckeye. Like you definitely, he could look at that. It sounds wrong.
Look at that group of Buckeyes sitting over there.
Aren't Buckeyes just the laziest people in the world? Like he's definitely in that category.
It's definitely in the kind of like most offensive, non-offensive terms. I guess.
But, another Buckeye sleeping on the job again.
You made the first mistake when you hired a Buckeye.
Never
What's
trust
next?
a Buckeye to do a good job.
What's next? Are we gonna let the Buckeyes vote?
Suffrage for the Buckeyes.
So yeah, maybe we should rule that one out.
Are these like, has the club come out with these?
No.
Or so these are kind of like fan favorites or like rumors and stuff like that?
It hasn't technically been officially confirmed that they're ditching, like how or when they're ditching the Indians. It's just been kind of...
Didn't they do that a long time ago?
Well, but yeah, they're... But yeah, so no, they haven't got to the stage yet where they've put together a list of potential names. But I know, Frank, that there's one old name that they're thinking of reusing, which also has the potential, if used with the right tone, to sound mildly racist, which is the idea that they might call themselves the Cleveland Naps.
See,
which is
and
that's another one that if you say naps in the wrong way, now it's quite similar to a certain word beginning with J that would be incorrect, but also just the nap, like and that's because
you went that way.
No, I wasn't saying that it would make me think of that word. It's just that obviously it has certain similarities, right? It's just one letter off. So in terms of sound, there is another word too that I'm not.
But the reason that they would call themselves that was because they were previously called that in honor of a player, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, so again, it would be, I'm sure it will be on the short list that they put together. Like undoubtedly, Naps and spiders are going to be on the list of. Now they could call themselves the Spider Naps.
The Buckeyed Spider Naps.
But there were
some of the other ones.
Yeah,
some of the better, like so the Cleveland Rockers.
Terrible.
Because they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, terrible.
And they could have the song Cleveland Rocks.
Terrible.
They have a theme song.
It's really gay.
How about the Cleveland Wild Things?
Oh my God. What?
That's not serious.
Wow, they're doubling down on rockers.
Well, that's a reference to the movie Major League.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good one, the Cleveland Wild Things.
I would genuinely think that's a joke.
Yeah,
that one is a joke. That one is a joke. Some of the other ones I saw were like Cleveland Crows, Cleveland Great Lakers.
I mean, if we've just discussed the racial possibility of some going crow is not a good idea. That's never going to happen.
No, well, Great Lakers, that sounds pretty bad as well.
Great Lakers is bad. So Great Lakers is just bad because it's just a bad version of the Lakers. Like if the Lakers didn't exist, then Lakers would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But you can't try and be the Cleveland Great Lakers when the LA Lakers are one of the most famous sports franchises in the world.
What's the what kind of industries go on in Cleveland? Could they call themselves after like an industry, like the Oilers? The Oilers for NFL.
Unemployment.
Lazy Buckeyes.
The Cleveland Unemployed.
Yeah.
That one's for you, Missy, if you're still listening.
Yeah. Our listeners in Ohio are going to be delighted with this one.
Yeah.
But
the Cuyahogas is another one because that's the river that runs through Cleveland.
Yeah, it's the county too. That's kind of a good name, but then I also feel like you're just kicking the can further down the road in terms of like it's obviously in reference to the Native Americans of the region. You'll just have 15 years from now people like, well, Cuyahoga is incorrect. So now call yourself something else.
So actually, so far none of them really sound that great to me.
That's the problem with renaming a team, right? You're so used to something that the rest just sound wrong.
The Cleveland BT, Cleveland baseball team.
They could just do that, and that wouldn't bother me. Just Cleveland Baseball Club. I mean, it would be the CBC.
Oh, Cleveland BC. Why don't they just call themselves Cleveland?
The Cleveland.
The Cleveland.
Yeah, the Clevelanders.
Well, I was just thinking
they could call themselves the Steamers, right? And just like really embrace it.
Yeah. Why don't they call themselves Cleveland?
Wait. So you're calling themselves the Cleveland?
No, they're the Cleveland. So that reminds me of Seattle. They just got a hockey team called the Seattle Kraken. And for the longest time, they were kind of opening it up to the public. And the number one vote that kept going up was the Rain City Bitch Pigeons. It just cracks me up that it like legitimately would be shown on several things, but obviously they can't call it. But it's gotten as far as sites have made official jerseys, and you can buy a Rain City Bitch Pigeon hockey jersey with like your name and number on the back. It just cracks me up. It's such
Kraken
a good one.
Is a really good name, actually. Yeah. I really like that.
I mean, that's the issue with the public vote nowadays, right? Is everyone does it as a joke. It's the Bodie McBoat face.
Yeah,
and then Joe Rogan gets on it. And Joe Rogan gets his supporters to vote for something, and it's game over.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bodie McBoatface was the moment that. So, for anyone who doesn't know the reference, there's a
comedian, right?
It's what? No, it was the UK released like it's a research special. It's a research.
Yeah, no, but I thought it was a comedian who like told everyone to start naming it that. Or picking that.
I thought you were suggesting that
it was like name a comedian.
Yeah, there was this comedian traveling around called Bodie McBoatface who's like great stand-up act. I don't know who suggested it. I just think it came on.
No, it was a former BBC Radio Jersey presenter.
Oh,
Radio Jersey, as in like the Channel Islands, Jersey.
Yes.
Or okay. Oh God.
Yeah. No, he just talked about jerseys on BBC Radio.
BBC, but only BBC jerseys as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah,
you're right.
That was it. Yeah, it was there was like an online poll done with a load of names, and Bodie McBoatface kind of got upvoted to a ridiculous amount, and there was a massive campaign. Ultimately, they went against it and called it the David Attenborough. I think they called the ship. So.
Sir David Attenborough, yes.
They called the ship Sir?
It's called the Sir David Attenborough, yeah.
God, English people are so pretentious.
It's his name.
Well, no, it's not his name.
Well, it is. It's his full, like with his title. Like it's the.
That's his title. It's not his name. It's his title.
But you're supposed to refer to him with his title, so it would be kind of a slap in his face. Now, I'm sure he doesn't insist on people calling him Sir David Attenborough, but it would be a mild slap in his face to name something after him and not use his appropriate title, especially on it's like a royal, like it's going to have the like
the HRH or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the. Now, speaking of Native Americans and maybe some curses, and that occasionally get placed on franchises or people. The Duca curse. Don't know if you have any Native American heritage, Frank, but the Duca curse is in full effect on the Arsenal Football Club or whatever they. Because another somewhat pathetic performance yesterday against
Why are you saying
Burnley.
somewhat?
Sam,
let's just call it what it is. It was.
Sam, I'm going to ask you again. Are you scared that Arsenal might go into the relegation?
No, they have enough talent. They may go into the relegation zone, but they will not stay there.
Here's the interesting thing. So watching the match yesterday, it was the first time I think I've watched an Arsenal match where they started to have the discussion of, because people love to talk in England about a team being too good to go down. And that was during the match. They started to have the discussion of like, we're not saying this is going to happen, but teams you think teams are too good to go down. Surely this Arsenal team is too good to go down. And that's like the first step in the process, because what ends up look, I don't think Arsenal are going to go down. I think they will in the end probably go on a halfway decent run and may even end up finishing in the top half. They'll finish well clear of the relegation zone is what I think will happen. That being said, if this goes on for a few more weeks and you really do drop into the realistic relegation scrap, that's when you got to take a look around that squad of players and think, how many of these players really want to be in a relegation scrap and have the mentality to be in one? Because with a club like Burnley, for example, and you kind of saw it yesterday, those players and that team is built to be where they are and to fight bravely against relegation and to scrap out results in the final few months of the season. And this Arsenal team is not built for that.
It's pretty depressing to be an Arsenal fan right now. Like, that's for sure. Because the capabilities there for everyone to see, right, is that they didn't actually add that many people to this team during the off-season. But they made sure that the people that were pretty good last year with Arteta stayed. Like the Aubameyang stayed. There was rumours about Lacazette. I think most people would agree with Ozil being frozen out for his performances. I think it's biting him at the moment, because if there's one problem, there's a complete lack of creativity. Arsenal have scored 10 goals in 12 games, which for the generation of Arsenal that we grew up with in our age is unheard of. Like, that's just not a thing for Arsenal. Usually it's the other way around. Arsenal are the classic team where it's like, you score 4, we'll score 5 kind of thing. And it's just gone the complete opposite way. I agree with your point, is that there will, if after Christmas, when you get to kind of FA Cup third round, early January kind of moment, and if Arsenal have legitimately lost every game, they've lost 4 in a row at home at the moment for the first time in 60 years. So it's not that terribly unfeasible for it to happen. You can legitimately start saying they'll finish at best 13th, 14th.
Also, let's take a quick look, too, as we like to do in the NFL. Their next few fixtures. So they play Southampton tomorrow. That's a tough fixture. They play Everton away on Saturday. Then they have Carabao Cup fixture against Manchester City. So they'll lose, but it won't matter to their league standings.
Honestly, that could be the one that they win.
Maybe.
It's just it's the scenario, right?
Then they play Chelsea.
Loss.
That could be a loss. At which point you could be very well looking at Arsenal a point or two above the drop zone. Because as things currently stand, they are 5 points clear. So at that point, you could be saying they're within 3 points, within a match of going into the drop zone. Then they play Brighton. And that then has the makings of what would normally be referred to as a 6-pointer. Because if that is a relegation 6-pointer, potentially.
I mean, it won't be.
I mean, they could be going,
It
but
might
they
be.
could be going into that match with 1 point in their last 3.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
realistic.
I'll put it this way. If they have more than 3 points from their next 3 matches, that would be a major sort of improvement, given that set of fixtures. If you tell me they come out of Southampton, Everton, and Chelsea with more than 3 points, that would surprise me.
That's depressing.
Well, there's my bet of the week. They come out with 9.
I mean, I was saying it before, like I actually tipped up Southampton on this podcast in the preview. I said that they were going to have a good season, and they do look really. They don't look incredible. They just look solid. They score goals. They defend well at the back. I think Arsenal are still favourites, but just to give you an idea, Arsenal at home against Southampton are only like 6-5, and that's pretty painful. This is an Arsenal team, even under the poorer days of Wenger near the end, that would have been 1-3 in this game, 1-2 maybe.
Now, this gets me to my other question for you. Arteta can't have long. I think realistically, if this form continues, he's gone by the end of January at most. Like, that gets to a certain point, you have to make a change. Because if he's lost the dressing room, if players aren't turning up for him, you have to get rid of him. Now, in that instance, general question, who on earth could they appoint? Second question, would you take Wenger back? If Wenger decided, look, I'm coming in fundamentally, because there's been rumors that he will come back to Arsenal in some form as a kind of, not director of football, but kind of some executive position to have influence over strategy or whatever it is. If he stepped back in some capacity and then said, well, I'm also going to be interim manager for the sort of caretaker for the next 6 months, would you want that? No. And then, final question, which is the most depressing question I think an Arsenal supporter's probably ever been asked. But would the best move be to appoint a manager with a pedigree of relegation scraps? So like the prospect of...
Oh, are you looking at like Sam Allardyce?
Sam Allardyce, Big Sam coming to the Emirates to play those angel passes.
Not in the away end, not in the away dugout, in the home dugout.
Yeah.
Oh no. The reality of that is pretty depressing. No, I can't. I'm not going to go to sleep tonight. I'm going to have these horrible nightmares of just Big Sam. I mean, what's he called? Lucien Favre has just become available at Dortmund.
Wow, he was great.
I mean, but it is one of those, like, Arsenal, I don't think will be able to offer the money or the reputation for someone like Pochettino, so he's out of it. That looks.
I don't think Pochettino would do it for multiple reasons. One of which would be the Spurs attachment to have Arsenal be your next club. Would be, I don't think he would do it. And then B, just why on earth? Like the Arsenal project at this point for any manager, realistically, you have to think it's a 5-year project to turn them into title contenders from where they are now.
Oh, longer.
But I mean, like if you nailed it. So if you're someone like Pochettino who has the possibility of going to big clubs around Europe, why would you take on this very risky, very long-term project?
And I think my thing with Arteta is that at the moment, avoiding relegation has now become some painful point. But I do think there's merit in staying with him, right? There is a capability there that he did show with the FA Cup win against good teams. It wasn't just like a simple run. The first 2 or 3 games at the start of the season, they look really good. They look competitive against like City when they lost like 1-0 or what was it? He seemed to be stemming the tide of Arsenal conceding goals. And it really has taken a big turn for the worst in the last 7 or 8 games. I think at the moment it's still a poor run that can change. I don't think it's systemically bad that Arteta shouldn't be given more time, but I think your end of January, when's the Europa League? I can't remember when it is, but they've got
usually
tough.
It's beginning of February. Usually.
They've got Benfica, and I think they've got the away game first. And I think that could be one of those nail in the coffin moments, if they're out of the FA Cup by then.
Not them being second bottom in the table. It's going to be the Europa League.
Yeah, if they're 18th, as long as they've won the Carabao Cup and they're going
good news.
for the...
Let's put a positive spin for Arsenal supporting listeners, which I know there are at least a few of them. Good news number one. Sheffield United are definitely going down. So it's 2 relegation spots up for grabs. So that's a positive spin. Positive number 2, Aubameyang finally scored. So there's that going. They got that going for them.
First ever club own goal, I think it was. As in career, like in his whole career. It's his first ever own goal, which I don't know is impressive or not.
That's how bad it's gotten.
The thing with Arsenal, right? Like I said, it's 10 goals in 12 games, but it's not like they don't have the capacity to change that. If Arsenal start scoring, then a lot of these games look very different. The momentum changes. At the moment, I put this down to an inexperienced manager that doesn't know how to change it around this poor run of form. But I do back him to do it with the coaching staff around him. Like, there's experienced people in there, like Winterburn, Steve Bold's in there. Like, they have good people that can get around him. And I think Arsenal will turn it around. It just has to happen within the next, I'd say, 7 or 8 games.
I admire your confidence, and I especially admire your confidence as someone who has watched their club be relegated on 2 occasions. And I will actually say the first time that Blackburn Rovers were relegated, maybe similar stature to where Arsenal are now.
Well, we won it then, didn't we?
Yeah, well, but very similar. And Blackburn went through a very serious process of too good to go down, gone down.
What was it, 2 or 3 years after you won the league? It was like 2 or 3 years after you won? 95, wasn't it? You won?
94, 95 won the Premier League.
Yeah, and then 97, 98 you get relegated.
Yeah, so 3 years removed, and had qualified, finished 6th the season before, played European football the season we were relegated. So there's some there, and look, I'm not saying I'm not drawing too many parallels, but there is precedent for this kind of thing happening. Now,
Ball and Giants, Forest.
As well. I will say also, casting our eyes forward to the 23rd of May, quite far in the future. The world will probably have changed quite significantly by the 23rd of May, 2021. But it will be the final match of the Premier League season. And it will be Arsenal at home to Brighton. What a match that could be. Just 2 teams fighting against relegation, all being decided on the final day's play.
Wait, that's the last match of the year for them?
That's the last.
Wow.
Now, isn't that a bad sign for Arsenal? Because when you can look ahead and you can see such a potentially significant fixture on the final day of the season, that's a sign.
If it comes down to that, we should broadcast live.
Oh yeah, we can be the anti-Arsenal. Anti-Arsenal. Yeah, we can do like the Logan Paul. This is how I could get into I watched Logan Paul launch his celebrity boxing career by filming a dead man hanging, and I can do the same. This is how I get Mayweather.
It's pretty depressing because I don't know why you think Brighton are going to be in a relegation fight anyway. It's Arsenal.
True. And I mean, the only other real talking point from the Premier League this weekend, obviously both Spurs and Liverpool slipped up, so not a lot changed at the top of the league. Leicester looked good, but the Manchester derby, one of the dullest affairs you'll ever see.
That's how I describe that.
No, Man U have an incredible habit of nulling the brain at Old Trafford at the moment. Like, Arsenal lose, but at least there's some entertainment for other people watching Arsenal lose. There is no entertainment in watching these United performances at the moment.
I mean, the only thing you will say, though, as an Arsenal supporter, somewhat mocking Manchester United, they're 5 points off the top with a game in hand. Like, we are not looking like a few weeks from now, United could conceivably be top of the table. And all of this pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all of this talk about how this is a kind of almost season from hell from United in some respects, it could suddenly look like, oh no, they're legitimate title contenders again.
But you know what will happen, right? Solskjaer being Solskjaer, they'll get to that point, and that's when they'll go on a 10-game, like, winless run, and then he'll play PSG, Like
Well, because
somehow.
here's the thing. We'll do the flip, right? So they play Sheffield United this week. Assume that's a win. Then they play Leeds, who are a little bit in free fall. That should and could be another win. Then they play Leicester. Now that will be a real test. If they've won the 2 games before then, and they'll basically be sort of probably level on points with Leicester and right up there, that will be the real test then. But they have actually, then you look ahead, then they play Wolves and Villa and Fulham. So over the next 6 matches, they should win most of them.
Well, just a shout out to Fulham. They look really good against Liverpool, actually. Don't get me wrong, Liverpool didn't play as well, but I think Fulham looked really organised in that game.
Yeah, and Jurgen Klopp continues to kind of turn himself into a joke a little bit because he's claiming very adamantly that the Fulham penalty shouldn't have been given because there was a foul in the build-up, and yet overlooking the fact that Liverpool's penalty, whilst correct by the laws of the game, very soft, and then equally Fulham should have had another penalty for Matip's challenge, which I understand why the referee didn't give it, and part of me was pleased the referee actually went, for only the second time this season, went to review a decision on the screen and then didn't change his mind. So I actually was happy about that. But it was very clear that Matip didn't get the ball first. So it should have been a penalty. But so Jurgen Klopp does a very good job of having a very good selective memory when he complains about things.
Did you see the draws for the Europa League and Champions League come up?
Oh, actually, I didn't. I saw that they came out, but I waited because I wanted you to tell them to me so I could.
Oh, do you want me to do like the draw and do it with like
we
a really
reenact
good voice?
it?
And like
I'll do like the home. You fictionally pick out the home teams, and I'll recreate and pick out the away teams.
I don't want Europa because I don't give a shit about those crap teams.
Actually,
that are in
could I just start off with a fact about the Europa League? No, I'm going to give it. So shut up.
That only teams in the bottom 5 are,
So
are in the Europa
League. The league leaders of the Premier League, the French League, the Spanish League, the Italian League, and the German League are all in the Europa League. So it's Leverkusen, Lille, Spurs, Real Sociedad, and AC Milan are all Europa League teams.
Sausage.
Now here's the question:
David Silva, Sausage Army.
Will any of them win their league?
Probably not. No.
Spurs, maybe.
Spurs have the best chance. Spurs have the best chance.
I think AC Milan.
No, Juventus
have a good chance. Leverkusen will slip up. Lille will just be caught by PSG eventually, or Lyon, I guess, but probably PSG. I'd say no. I think Milan have the best chance. AC Milan. I'd say out of all of them. But
just tell me who Spurs have.
In the
Wolfsberger.
Yeah.
An Austrian team. So that's looking like a good one. Benfica Arsenal is a good one from that. Sociedad Manu is another good one from that. The rest are kind of, like you say, the rest are Europa League ties. So they're not that fantastic.
The Champions League, on the other hand, has drawn up a series of very, very sort of mouth-watering ties. You have Barcelona against Barcelona PSG.
Ooh,
obviously some recent history with the dramatic comeback.
2017, wasn't it?
Yeah. You've got Leipzig, Liverpool, which given the way Leipzig have been playing, it's going to be a good tie. Atalanta, Real Madrid. So obviously last year, Atalanta had a good Champions League run, so that's a decent tie. Atletico Madrid, Chelsea.
Oh, that's a good one. Atletico Madrid are playing pretty well right now. Yeah. They don't let up fucking anything.
I mean, the great thing about
they have 4 goals conceded in their league right now. It's insane.
They're just different styles as well, which is really good about that one. It's kind of Lampard, Simeone. It's like really different styles and approaches. So it'd be a good one, that one.
And then the other ties: Sevilla, Borussia Dortmund, Porto against Juventus, Lazio, Bayern Munich, and Borussia Mönchengladbach against Manchester City. So for once, City actually with a reasonably
Yeah.
I mean, there are no easy draws in the knockout stages of the Champions League, but City finally got one that isn't a kind of nightmare for them.
Now,
Yeah.
how are they going to do this COVID related, just as they normally would? Just a
I think
home
it's
match and away
full-
match, and that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just home and away. And the fans, technically, I think, depending on the local restrictions, right?
Well, there's been
So-
fans already, right? Whenever those games have been played in Ukraine and Russia, there've been full-on supporters there for those. So, yeah, depending on where they're playing, there will be supporters there. Now, one thing I forgot, I'd wanted to include this stat last week after the final matches of the Champions League were played. Incredible stat, like one of my favorite stats I've seen in a long time, which was after Juventus played Barcelona last week and kept a clean sheet. It meant that Buffon has now kept a clean sheet in the Champions League in 4 different decades. The 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s.
Wow. For some reason in my head,
He's just very old.
But
He's older than his manager. I mean, he made his Juventus debut in like 1996.
wow, that's crazy.
And he's still a pretty awesome keeper. I mean, it's the one position where you can like go to that age and be, still pretty commanding and decent. Wow. 4 decades.
So he made his
clean
I'll
sheets.
correct myself. He made his Parma debut in 1995.
So how old is he?
Damn.
He's 42 years old. He turns 43 in January.
That's when Parma were good as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I assume he only played for Parma in the 90s, so he kept his Champions League clean sheet with Parma.
nice.
Yeah.
I read this. So Sevilla fan Fred, where it's like, oh, we're in the last 16 of the Champions League. That's amazing, but it means we can't win the Europa League.
Yeah. No
it
European
was one of
trophies.
those. It's one of those catch-22 situations where they're like, oh my god, we've gone further than usual, but we can't win a trophy now because we're very not going to win the Champions League. So I wonder what Sevilla fans truly want. For like a second tier club like that, I would actually say the Europa League glory rather than one more 2-legged fixture in the Champions League.
Depends on how far you go. I'd rather win the Europa League than get knocked out in the last 16 of the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I'd rather make it to the Champions League semi-final over winning the Europa League.
Yeah, but what about from a revenue standpoint, though?
Champions League, way more. I think you make
Yeah.
more money just from the last 16 than you do from winning the Europa League.
That's what I was thinking.
There's actually a new tier of European football starting next season, I think it is. Like they're going to have like a third level below the Europa League. So there's going to be more betting. There's going to be way more betting.
So that
Because
Celtic can win something?
Yeah, so that Celtic can go and beat like Inter Milan and then get humped 7-0 by Slavia Prague or something like that.
I got a bit of backlash on Twitter this weekend because I think TalkSport posted that James Tavernier, the Rangers right back, has 2 discussions annoyed me this weekend that I saw in multiple places. One was because Rangers, I think, are the only undefeated side in any top flight, like top division in Europe, something like that. So people seriously talking about, well, how good are Rangers? Like, how well would they fare against some of the bigger clubs, which we know the answer to that. But James Tavernier scored 17 goals for Rangers this season, and they then said that's more than Harry Kane, Son, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Neymar, Lewandowski, Mbappe, and he's a right back. I kind of thought, and he plays in Scotland. Like there's a key detail there that needs to be included. But Frank, I know that as we get towards the end here, we've probably wrapped up the sport from the weekend. You had the couple talking points where you had to rip into me. I know, like pre-recording, we were talking a little bit about Christmas movies, and you told us that you had a favorite Christmas tradition. I don't know if necessarily it's a Christmas movie, but that we will disagree on.
Well, no, my thing was there's 2 movies I always have to watch every Christmas. And the first one is Christmas Vacation. That's just like the family. My family's always been watching Christmas Vacation Like that's like our movie for the holidays. The other one I always have to watch is Love Actually. I'm a huge Love Actually fan.
That's a movie that has not aged that well, I've got to say.
No, I read a few years ago, it still cracks me up about just how bad of a movie it is in terms of just like relationships and take on women and like what men seem to get away with in the movie. I mean, it's actually pretty funny when I think it just makes the movie funnier when you watch it. You have this guy.
Whoa. Frank's views are not the views of the podcast. I'd like to say this now, but please continue.
No, but I think it's funny when you watch how poorly it's aged, or not. It's not even how it's aged. It's just how they thought that was a okay thing. Like the kid whose best friend, or sorry, how do I put this the right way? The guy who stalks his best friend's wife constantly, like how anyone thought it was an okay thing in the first place, and then how he almost kind of looks like a decent guy at the end when he goes to her
romantic gesture
and holds and like holds the cards up and like he's like, who's at the door? Oh no, don't tell him it's his best friend trying to steal his wife away in a really douchey move. Just say it's Christmas carolers. Just say it's that.
Yeah. No, it's funny that he somehow was likable, and also people felt happy that it was the ending that they deserved as a couple was for him and for her to just betray the husband, who I don't remember.
Also, doesn't help that the husband is black.
But I don't remember the movie well enough. I have only seen it once or twice and haven't seen it in at least 10 years. But like, he doesn't do anything bad, right? Like, he's a perfectly decent guy. Like, he's not unpleasant to her or anything.
Who, the husband?
Yeah.
No, the husband is like a really great guy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they're in a loveless marriage and
no.
Like saving her. Yeah.
No. And then also when the guy goes to the US.
Yeah.
And it's like all these like really attractive girls just pouring themselves on him.
Yeah. Well, he goes to the US just for the purpose of sleeping with girls.
Here's my question.
You have a prime minister who's just a complete perv.
No, see, the prime minister one, I don't agree with as much. I have some flaws in what people think of why he's so bad. Because the one knock is that she's his employee, but he doesn't actually like really get involved with her until after she leaves his employment, which wouldn't that be the right thing to do? Not that, I guess the wrong thing of that is that he technically got her fired so that he could date her, which is the wrong thing. But he didn't actually do that.
Okay.
He didn't purposely do it like that.
People have done full on like mind maps of the relationships and like the angles and like the way people like deceived each other. It's
amazing. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I mean, it is interesting, right? Because there's no way Love Actually gets made today. And also
because Alan Rickman's dead.
That's pretty good.
And also just in spite of the fact,
Severus Snape.
In spite of the fact that it has this like reaction to it in terms of like on the internet and in different places, it still remains tremendously popular. And people have like very nostalgic.
It's cold.
Yeah, but it's
almost like The Holiday.
Like no, because The Holiday is a bad movie.
Oh, the movie.
Whoa! That is probably Jack Black's best performance.
Well, that's not saying a lot, but
naturally
I'd also disagree with you because I think School of Rock is a legitimately good movie.
I'm not going to come back to you on that. I got no time for that argument.
Yeah. But I think there's two good Jack Black movies. High Fidelity is a good movie, and School of Rock is a good movie. It's fundamentally the only times Jack Black has been asked to play Jack Black.
What about Shallow Hal? Now that's a movie that has not aged well.
That sounds like a good episode, doesn't it? Movies that have aged terribly.
Yeah. And actually, you can relate Shallow Hal back to Love Actually because there is some fat shaming in Love Actually as well. That's another major criticism.
Yeah. Yeah,
When
no,
they
it's
say
incredible.
that she won like Miss Dunkin' Donuts in 2003 or something. That's a great
It's a hell of a cast. But Love Actually is a hell of a cast, though. Like,
Yeah,
when
it
you
is.
look
Oh, yeah.
back at it, it's incredible.
And for example, I've seen commercials of like Sky previewing all of their Christmas film when they've got Idris Elba talking about how like over Christmas he watches movies, and then they've got commercials and they have the Hugh Grant like dancing scene as part of the clips that they show for like the Christmas
scene.
spirit. So the fact that they even chosen that character to represent what the movie stands for is an interesting one. Now, Hugh Grant anecdote. His dad lives very close to my parents. And so there are quite frequent Hugh Grant sightings because he goes to visit his dad, including once when
Like
my
a UFO.
yeah.
Like a Hugh Grant crop circle, like in a garden next to you.
Well, it's actually, it gives you insight into how horrible it must be to be a celebrity, because it is literally like people reporting Hugh Grant sightings. Like, oh, Hugh Grant's in town. Like, yeah, I saw him at the cafe. Yeah, I saw him eating here. Like, and he's not exactly, I mean, major celebrity particularly for people of our age or older. For people younger than us, I don't think Hugh Grant moves the needle at all.
I was going to say women slightly older than us.
Yeah, but still, even, like I can still remember an era of Hugh Grant being a legitimate, like A-list actor. But my mother and my sister did once go to a restaurant where he was sitting with his dad and his brother, and they were playing a game where, as women walked by, they basically declared whether or not they would be willing to fuck her, and that was the game the three of them were playing. So this
wait. Who can confirm this game being played?
Either my sister or my mother.
Anyone outside of the family?
No, they would go on record for this. That's now my sister. Not that I ever doubt her, like that she would make it up.
Wait, how old is Hugh Grant's dad?
Probably late 70s, early 80s now. But this story happened 6 or 7 years ago was when this incident happened. So at the time he was probably like early 70s, but maybe older. I don't know. Hugh Grant's what, like 60 maybe?
Now, do you think there are women and probably men who would be willing to sleep with Hugh Grant's dad because he's Hugh Grant's dad?
For sure. For sure. I mean, the interesting one would be, would you sleep, not you, but like, will people sleep with Hugh Grant's brother I don't know what he looks like. Okay,
let's throw this one out. Do you think there's more people who would sleep with Hugh Grant's father because it's Hugh Grant's father, or Hugh Grant's brother because it's Hugh Grant's brother and maybe they look somewhat alike?
Definitely the brother, for two reasons. One, they might look alike. I'm actually the only person in the family to not have a Hugh Grant sighting. So now you could go real conspiracy theory. Maybe my family has just been making this up to me. Like
maybe your family is like the guy in Love Actually and they're stalking Hugh Grant.
Maybe. But you would either they look kind of similar, so you feel like this is as close as you're going to get, or you think the brother is the better in. Like, if you started dating the brother, could you Love Actually it and then like swap from the brother to Hugh Grant? Like, he falls in love with you.
Do you go right to the father, right to the source of the seed?
Awful. I think you just have to hope that Hugh Grant has similar tendencies to Ryan Giggs, and that you could get in with the brother, and then that's your way in.
I completely forgot about Ryan Giggs. Like, one absolute monster.
Yeah. There's a guy who's had an incredible PR recovery.
So what would be your go-to Christmas movie? Considering Love Actually could possibly be one of the worst movies ever, but best.
So I don't really have... The only movie in my family that gets watched every Christmas period is It's a Wonderful Life. That's the only movie that my dad
Yeah,
insists
I can
that
see
he
that for
he
your
watches.
family watching that.
Well, it's just I think my dad has watched It's a Wonderful Life probably every Christmas of his life. So for him, that's like
It
the
is a
Christmas.
wonderful life.
Yeah, for him, that's like his movie, Christmas
Yeah.
movie. We watched like a decent number of Christmas movies over the Christmas period, but like most of them are more down to like just what's on TV. Like, okay, we know there's a Christmas movie going to be on. We'll just turn on the TV and watch it.
But is there one for you in particular that you only like? It's a movie you only usually see during Christmas or the holidays.
I mean, I guess It's a Wonderful Life.
Christmas Carol. I really like the Jim Carrey one of it, the more recent one. It's pretty good.
You're probably in a minority there.
It's
Did
kind
you
of well
like?
animated.
Did you like the BBC Dark remake of it last year?
Oh,
I didn't see it. I must not have seen it.
with Tom Hardy, right?
Yeah, Tom Hardy in it. Yeah, it had a really
didn't
good
watch
cast. Just like a dark, kind of more realistic take on the Christmas Carol.
What voice did Tom Hardy have in it?
Oh, just he
Spain.
can't do a normal voice. It's the greatest thing about Tom Hardy.
Voice.
He can't do a normal voice. And it's not just one voice. Like it would be bad if he could just do the Bane voice, like with every character. Like if he was flying a Spitfire in Dunkirk, just.
I mean, even at the
we
mask
must
on.
shoot down the bombers. But it's just that every single time he's got to do like there's that movie where he's the
No,
outlaw.
I would prefer if he did Alfie Solomon's voice all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now that would be a good voice to hear all the time.
He does love the in general like the deep growling voice, like a big go-to for him.
Something I watch, I wouldn't really call it a film, but something that's on is The Snowman.
Okay, that will be
It's
a
like
reference. Frank
It's like a
won't know
half
what
an
that
hour
is,
thing.
I don't think.
But
Is that the one with Michael Keaton?
No, it's an animated movie, and it's about a snowman flying, and it has in the UK a very iconic song.
We're walking in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was sung by a boy in very high pitch.
A choir boy.
You know the movie I'm talking about, though?
No,
I think it's the one where...
Is it Batman Returns? Because that's
No, I might butcher this, but it's worth it alone for the butchering. I'm pretty sure it's a movie where the father dies and he gets reincarnated as the snowman out front of their house. And the kid like plays with the snowman who is now his father. And then they end up playing hockey together. And the snowman's like playing hockey with his son.
I know the movie you're talking about, and I've only seen it because I watched like a YouTube, like one of those things where they like make fun of the movie, and I watched that thing, and he like gets into it, like the son's being bullied, and he like helps him like in a snowball
Jack
fight or
Frost.
something.
That's the name of it. Jack Frost.
Yeah.
As a touring musician clinging to the dreams of stardom, aging rocker Jack Frost never had much time for his wife and young son. A year after Jack's tragic death in a car accident on Christmas Day, Charlie plays a mournful tune on his father's harmonica. Much to his surprise, the elder Frost is magically brought to life as a snowman on the family lawn. Given a second chance, Charlie and Jack struggle to make up for lost time.
That's also another interesting movie because if I remember it correctly, and I might also be butchering it in the way that you might have, but I think there's a moment right when the mother realizes that there's this animated snowman, and then she starts interacting with her dead ex-husband or dead husband and then like falls in love with him, like his new personality as the snowman, which when you really think about it is such a weird thing.
There's actually an X-rated version that never got released.
Yeah, you don't want to see what he does with the carrot.
So obviously, the last thing we can touch on, because everyone has to touch on it, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? No,
Nope.
I know. I think we all agree no. What about Gremlins?
I honestly haven't seen Gremlins since I was a kid, so I don't even know what the Christmas theme is with Gremlins.
He buys it for
Christmas,
him
right?
for Christmas. Yeah.
Oh,
he buys him the
no.
Gremlin for Christmas. And it all takes place, I guess,
Over
during.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just no, I don't understand this idea. Like, that's more of a Christmas movie because then obviously Christmas is like a pretty key theme to the plot. But like, I don't understand this idea that if a movie takes place over a certain period of time, it then turns into like, and I know that diehard defenders for the Christmas movie
Home
point of
Alone.
view is like, but Home Alone has such a key, like, there's so much Christmas in Home Alone. Like, it's everywhere
Yeah.
in Home Alone.
Neglecting a child.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? Like, the whole movie is Christmas. Like, there's Christmas decorations, there's Christmas music. The whole premise is they're going away for Christmas. Like, every part of it, like, there's the eventual being reunited and being happy, and like, Christmas is everything. Die Hard is like, it's a Christmas work party. There's a terrorist attack. Like, that's it. Like, there's no key. Or even all of the like, if instead of like yippee-ki-yay motherfucker, he like, the famous line was like, you know, like, jingle bell motherfucker. Like, in that instance, I could have been like, okay, Christmas movie.
Yeah, it is. It's an action film that is filmed at Christmas. Like, it's not a Christmas. It's the same, I'd say, for Gremlins as well.
To me, and I know this is going to piss off because I know again that we've got listeners who are going to think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but it has, to me, the evolution of Die Hard is a Christmas movie is like it's the take of a person who doesn't have a personality, who's trying to think of something interesting about themselves. And so, like, their interesting in fact is like, Die Hard is my favorite Christmas movie. Oh, wow, what an edgy person you are. Like, wow, you're so out there. What a rebel. You're suddenly fascinating. Like, you have
Is that like the Boondock Saints is my favorite movie?
Yeah. Like, that to me, it just stinks of that. And then it's evolved into people being like, no, but it is a Christmas movie. Like, come on, guys. And like, there would be, if that's
It's got no Christmas spirit. It's got no Christmas cheer.
Unless killing terrorists is at the heart of Christmas. In which case, Zero Dark 30, my favorite Christmas movie.
That's a good movie.
Just probably a Christmas scene somewhere in there. Don't remember the movie well enough, but I bet you there's a scene. You sure there's not like a scene where they're like in Afghanistan and they're like, well, it's Christmas Day, like Christmas Day, Kabul, 2008. You know, and like some grumpy soldier's like, "Oh, Merry Christmas." Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too. There we go. Christmas movie.
There's the voice. There's his voice too.
This place.
You know what's one that I see here all the time? Around Christmas time, all the channels love to play Harry Potter as if Harry Potter is a Christmas movie.
Which one?
All of them. They'll play all of them because I think almost everyone has a Christmas scene in it. I think that was a theme they tried to keep through all of them.
Yeah, because they do a full year in every movie, apart from the last two.
And the only thing I enjoyed about that was that's the first time I've ever heard people say Happy Christmas.
Yeah, which is very English.
Yeah.
But I will say that's one of those things that really bothers me. My parents, for example, will say Happy Christmas. And to me, Happy Christmas is like such an un-Christmas gesture. Like, it has to be Merry Christmas. And it really, really bothers me. Like, when someone says Happy Christmas to me, it sucks whatever little Christmas spirit there is in me. It just sucks it right out of me.
Well, there can't be much in you, to be honest.
No.
I am going to get the biggest card and send it to you now.
I'll burn it. It will add to my Christmas fire. So do you know what? I'll appreciate that. That will add to my Christmas spirits.
You're nasty.
I will toss it symbolically onto my fire on Christmas morning and then just say, Merry Christmas, Sam. And then hope that the embers and the smoke float into the air and then make their way over to you and that you just get a tingle of Christmas spirit from me.
I don't think Sam wants a tingle of anything from you.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. So on that note, I guess we'll end that, and I'll save my Happy Christmas for a few weeks from now.
Yeah, probably next Monday, I guess. Right? We'll probably have to take a mini Christmas break.
Yeah.
So for our listeners hoping to have a Christmas message from us, they might have to hold, because next Monday is the 21st. So they might have to save the episode, just space it out over a few days so that they can get our Christmas sign off right on Christmas morning. It can be the first thing that they wake up to.
I would say just split this episode into two, but if you listen to it this far, there's not much left to split.
Yeah.
Okay, stop now, and then finish the rest in another day. Well, talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Cheerio.